Welcome to the Soul Infused Monday Show. I'm your host, Sonia Bueno de la Torre, and I'm super excited to start this week with you with intention, with purpose, and hopefully also with a little fun. Please do me a favor, if you are already watching this on the live stream or if you're watching this on the replay, leave me a comment, say hello, especially if you're on the live stream right now. Let me know if you see and hear me clearly, and say hello in the comment section. Today, I'm going to talk about the deliciousness of coming back to center. So before we even get started, I invite you to take a nice deep breath, to become fully present in this moment. Maybe you want to grab a pen and a paper. You never know when inspiration will hit. You want to have something to take notes, maybe a glass of water, and remove any distractions. I recently had the opportunity to be off center, and it reminded me of how I used to live when I was younger or in the past, the many struggles that I was going through. And not that there are no challenges anymore. Obviously there are. But it gave me a sense and an opportunity to remember how life was before I had the foundation of being centered, about the foundation of inner work, of meditation, and the soul connection. That opportunity I had to revisit some old places and some wounded places from the past created a deeper sense of centeredness in me, a next level of connection with my soul, and a next level of consciousness that I'm carrying. And it also allowed me to have a next level of purpose. Every time we go through something really tough in our lives, we have an opportunity to use it for a next level of growth. Because I went through that just recently, and most of you, or you, if you have been following me, you know some of my story. I also, again, experienced the difference between being in the mud, being covered with shit, let's call it that way, and the deliciousness and beauty of being centered within again. And that's why I feel inspired to talk about this today. Now, this topic is a big topic. Energy and the world of energy is a very complex and vast field, and I'm only going to scratch the surface. Some of the things that I'm going to share you might heard maybe before already. Some of the things might be new. Now, whether they are new or not is really irrelevant, because you are listening in with new eyes, with new ears, who you are in this moment right now. This present moment where you are watching and listening in has not been you before. So anything that you're hearing today can either land deeper, can create a new pathway, or ignite a new inspiration that has not been there before. And I invite you to be fully present and open to receive without any attachment and without any expectations. What you might hear, or the knowledge that is out there now, only knowing about being in center, only knowing about how to get back to center, is not gonna do it for you. The same way that even if you know that when you go physically to the gym and you do lift training and you work with weights to build your muscle, just knowing that is not going to build the muscle. The same applies to energy. And I am so passionate and inspired, and I've been doing this for over 20 years. And today I'm super excited to talk about what is it? What is it? What does it mean to be in center? What does it mean to come back to center? What does that actually mean? Also, what are the symptoms? How can you recognize if you are off center or not? And then most importantly, how do you get back to center? Again, scratching the surface. And before I jump in, I want to see who is in here, especially if you're live. I always like to acknowledge my live people in particular. So I want to take just a few seconds, so tune in, and I'm going to greet my dear fellow friends on the path and clients and beautiful people, Tine, Barbara, Dorleen, Destiny, Debbie, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Also, before I forget, I'm going to post a link here. A few years ago, I did a series called The Soul Infused Summer. Now, since then, I grew tremendously. I'm sure if I look back, I think I was a baby. However, the content that I shared in that whole series incorporates the base of energy work, the foundational pieces, a lot of tools. Also, there's an episode around how to get back into groundedness. So I'm going to post this link here. It were 10 training episodes that when I was meditating this morning, I felt this could be such an incredible resource. And even though some of the things I've grown, obviously, and I would maybe teach a little different, the content is still as relevant than back then. So I'm going to just post it here real quick so that you can see it. And if you watched it back then, because I know you might have actually watched it already, and if you haven't, definitely check it out. If you watch it now again, or you can choose and pick a specific topic, I'm sure it will bring something new into your life at this current moment. And I just see here 2 comments. I loved the Soul Infused Summer content. It was really great. Thank you. Yes, loved it. Fantastic. Yes, I loved it too. It was such a great and so much free content there that you can really absorb and apply and revisit. Let me tap into real quick, what does it mean to be centered? And energy is not a mental concept. Being centered is not a mental concept, it's substance. Energy is substance. It's tangible, at least for me. And for those who've done energy work long enough so that they know the difference between what it means to be off-center and to be centered. And I can tell you, by the way, that you, by simply being here today and you're listening in, whether you're watching, whether you're listening in, whether you are on the replay or live, just by being here today, it will shift your energy, especially if you allow yourself to be not distracted, uninterrupted. Because when you are tuning in, you're tapping into my energy field as well. And everything I do is part of coming back to center and to reconnect to the soul being that you truly are. So even though, no matter what's going on in your life right now, just by being here, I want to acknowledge that you're here. Being centered, it's an energetical state. It's an energetical state of being. The energy field, and again, I'm only scratching the surface here. Of course, most of you have heard about the chakras, the centers of this energy field. We have 7 main chakras, and then it's an 8th for the higher self. And there are many other chakras, but those are the main chakras that we know from the energy field. And then those 7 chakras are connected through what we call the core channel. And the core channel is an energetical, like a spine, that runs very close to your physical spine. So if you're not aware of your core channel, you can visualize or imagine your physical spine as the core channel of energy. Being centered means that you are connected and you're resting within that core center, and your energy is balanced like an egg around you, so that you have energy in the back, on the sides, in the front, and you are resting deep within your core. And for me, even when I teach it, when I mention it, that's what I majorly do, and it's such a deliciousness when you rest within yourself. There is much more to it than this. However, just as as a superficial like concept, being centered means you are connected within yourself, you're grounded and resting within yourself, you are aware of yourself, and therefore you feel secure and strong within yourself. And for me personally, and in the line of work that I'm doing with the reconnection of the soul, that ultimately the work is about realigning yourself with who you really are, with the truth of your soul being. It also means being centered means you are connected with your soul being, and that's the consciousness that you're using to operate on a daily basis. I give you a moment to just tune into that for a moment. Just imagine, even fantasize for a second to be centered. And it feels so wonderful. Now, maybe you don't feel so wonderful right now because a lot is going on, or you are off center at the moment, and that's okay too. We all get off center. And sometimes life is overwhelming, and our human experience is full of uncertainty, unpredictability, challenges, grief, trouble, whether it's financially, if it's health, if it's relationship, if it's parenting, if it's about purpose or meaning, it doesn't matter. It's not a question if it's going to happen. It's the question is, how are you going to deal with it? So whether you feel centered right now or not doesn't even matter. But simply the intention to come back to center is already shifting the energy, because energy follows attention. Now, what are some of the symptoms, or what does it mean not to be off center? And that's actually a state of being that is way more common, and most people are more off centered than centered. Because again, it takes work. And the truth is, most people don't want to do the work. You, me, watching me, I know you are dedicated and you are on this journey and you're doing the work. But the reality is most people don't want to do the work. They want to have a quick fix. They don't want to do what it takes to maintain it, to build the foundation. And I so often have this metaphor about brushing the teeth. You got to brush your teeth every day if you want to keep your teeth clean and healthy and strong, and you want to keep them. It's the same with your energy and the inner work and your connection. The same with the muscles. It's the same with everything. If you wanna keep it, you gotta keep working on it. You gotta keep nurturing it. You gotta keep growing into it. So, let's go back to the symptoms or things that you can recognize. Because often you might not even think that this is off center, that this is being off center. Any problem you encounter is an energetical phenomena. Anything that's going on in your world outside and in your circumstances that is throwing you off is an energetical phenomena. One thing that will, no matter what, always help to be better at it is to be back center. Again, doesn't have to happen overnight, and sometimes when we are in severe distress, it will take more. However, once you have the foundation built and the waves are smoothing down again, you come back to center so much quicker. When you feel you get triggered easily or you're emotionally overwhelmed, you are off center. That's one symptom. When you feel anxious, when you're doubting yourself constantly, you are off center. When you're having a feeling of scatteredness, of too much going on, unclarity, overwhelm, you are off center. When you have a lack of purpose, when you feel there is no meaning in your life, or you don't know which way to go, often it's a centeredness issue. You want to come back to center. When you feel another symptom or another behavior is when you feel you have to justify constantly, or you have to apologize, or you feel like pleasing, people pleasing. You're not on center, you are off center. If you have boundary issues, if you're not clear on your boundaries, you are not centered. And there's so many other, a disconnection to your soul, to God, to spirit. You're not centered. So many, anything actually can be I'll find the word. Yeah, anything can be a symptom of not being centered. And to emphasize that, being centered also means that you do the work that's in the way for you to be centered, meaning the wounds from the past, the beliefs that you're still carrying within you, the attachments and beliefs and stuck and frozen and blocked emotions. You gotta do the work, because every layer that you peel off, you get to connect deeper and deeper and deeper. And then to strengthen the muscle and to keep the foundation so solid, you know what I generally say, it's meditation. Daily, very specific, energy-based meditation that keeps building that muscle, that makes it grow bigger, wider, and stronger. Your core channel is a substance. If your core channel is very narrow, if your core channel is frozen, if your core channel has blocks for energy to flow, it's not solid. So you keep doing the work and you keep meditating to solidify and to strengthen that core. And there is really, for me personally, there's nothing better than the feeling, this delicious feeling of being centered within yourself, of being connected with your own being, with your soul being. And when you are in that state, when you are so present in that state, it's as if you are in the eye of a hurricane, where no matter what's going on outside, you don't have the need to convince anybody. You're not attached to be right or wrong. You are simply holding space for yourself and for the world around you. And you have the strength and the confidence and the alignment to live your own path and to live in your own truth. So delicious. Better than anything else. Now, I want to take a break here real quick and ask you, what's resonating with you? What are you hearing me say that is landing? And or do you have a question? I'm going to just be here a few more minutes, but I want you to tune in what's landing here for you, and leave me a comment or leave me a review if you're not able to leave a comment here, or leave me a message. Now, the other question is, how do you get back to center, or how do you come to center at all if you've never been? And I already actually said a lot of things, but I'm going to be more specific. Number one, of course, do the work to find out why are you not in center to begin with. Also, learn about energy, because we do not learn this in school. You are an energy being. You are affected by energy. Either you're conscious of it or you are unconscious of it. If you're not conscious of it, you are a victim of it because you don't even know what you are doing with your own energy. And most of the times that is the case, you don't know what's moving inside of you, what your energy is creating to create the reality that you have. And on the other side, if you are not aware of it and if you don't learn about your own energy and how to manage your energy, you will be affected by the outside energy in ways that also can make you a victim. So with my clients, I work not only on releasing the trauma and to change the beliefs and to create that centeredness, it's really to learn how to manage your own energy. So you want to do this work and to learn about it, theoretically, but also practically. Yes, just tuning into you, and I feel there's a beautiful energy coming in. So tune in, and I still would love to hear from you. What's landing here for you? What are you taking away from here today before I just complete this piece? Do the work, learn about energy, and do every day something that keeps you in center. One of the things that I see that is often detrimental and people don't even realize that people often start doing the work and meditate when they're not feeling good. Because when they feel good, they believe they don't need it. And that's the biggest misconception. Because that's when you keep losing it. And then when you need it the most, you do not have it available. It is way more difficult to get back to center when you haven't done anything and then something throws you off. Now, when you keep doing it every day, you solidify, you strengthen, and you also enjoy that beautiful state of being. So if that resonates with you and you do meditate, but you fall off the wagon, or you're not regular with it, or sometimes you tell yourself or you believe in the story, oh, I'm good, I don't need it, that's always a red flag. It's the same, again, the teeth. Do you not brush them for 5 days because they feel okay? No, you keep brushing your teeth every day. So you want to build that habit. It's such a lifestyle that being centered and being connected and being aware and living in your own alignment and truth is your default and not the other way around. So take a nice deep breath right here, right now. And I'm asking you again, and I'm asking you this for a reason. I'm asking you this for 3 reasons. What's your biggest takeaway? The first reason is when you tune in and you find your biggest takeaway, you anchor it by sharing it, by being aware of it and by sharing it. What is your biggest takeaway? Tune in. What's landing here for you? Now, by sharing it, you also give someone else the opportunity to have an aha moment, an insight. And thirdly, it's a win-win-win. I get feedback, so I know what is landing for you so that I can give you more of what's landing for you. Now, while you're tuning in and you are trying to figure out, and don't let your perfectionist come in, don't let insecurity come in, don't let that part that doesn't want you to be seen come in. Be aware of it and share it anyway. When you share a truth, it will anchor that energy. Let yourself be seen. Share your insight. Often, and I hear this a lot when people afterwards share their insights with me, oh, I didn't want to share my insight because I thought that wasn't so good, or I thought that was nothing or not meaningful. That's also a mechanism, a pattern, a belief from the past that is keeping you from communicating and expressing yourself. So no matter what your takeaway is, no matter how small, no matter how big, no matter what you think about it, I invite you and I dare you to be brave and share it here so that it can keep anchoring, and keep anchoring. And I'm going to take a moment and share 2 or 3 takeaways. And then I'm going to close this session for today in the hopes and desire for you that it helped you to get to center a little bit more today, and for you to set the intention for a more centered week. Takeaways. So many things related to being off center. It's eye-opening. Great. I'm happy to hear that. Another takeaway: fill my soul and bring back my healthy energy. Thank you to bring me back to center. It's my pleasure. Another takeaway: I have the power to change my energy and how I use it. Fantastic. Take that in. You have the power. Literally every word has landed so sweetly and supportively. The energy in today's Soul Infused Monday feels so sacred, timely, and universally needed. Thank you so much for sharing your medicine so generously. Thank you. Thank you, and it's my pleasure. I receive and I will give it back. Another takeaway: it still surprises me how often I believe, in air quotes, that I am centered and find out that I'm not. So good to hear all this today. Ooh, this is such a good takeaway. I want to just really reinforce this one. First of all, I want to acknowledge your awareness, and then to admit it, and then to share it. And this is so good for so many. I can feel it in the field. So many insights for so many at this moment. How often do you believe that you are centered, but you are not? And now with this new awareness and the repetition, it's going to make a difference, and it's going to help you drop deeper. Thank you for sharing that. All the takeaways are amazing. I want to, one last one, and then I'm going to close this session. This was full of helpful information today. So important to be centered for life. I also liked the egg analogy for energy surrounding us. Wonderful. Thank you so much that you've been here. I will look at all other comments and any comments that you might leave here if you're watching the replay. And if you are watching the replay, or if you're listening to this at a later point, dare to share your insight and to let yourself be seen. And remember, and I'm going to post the link again for the Soul Infused Summer Training. This is such good information. Again, even though it's a few years ago, I've grown tremendously. The content is so good. And you could choose to, for the next 10 days, to watch one episode. I truly believe this could make a huge, huge, huge difference and be a game changer. And if you need more support, and if you want to have more personalized support, if you want to work with me privately, tune in. If that's a yes for you, send me a message. Let's chat, and we can do this deeper together. Thank you again for being here today. I appreciate you. I love you. Do something every day that will help you to stay centered. And until next Monday, I wish you a fantastic week, and set an alarm and a reminder right here, right now, for next Monday for a new episode of Soul Infused Monday. Much love.